Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is episode 31 of your NHL 21 franchise mode here with the Seattle Kraken. As in the last episode, well, it didn't end the way that we wanted it to end, as we had a 3-1 series lead against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They walked back in and they beat us in game 7, 5-2. It wasn't a very good looking series. And this means that we are about to rattle up the Seattle Kraken. We're about to make a lot of changes to this team as we're near our last season as the GM. Of course, as you guys all know, I made a little bit of an update video saying that I'll be doing this last season, and then we're going to be streaming a whole crap ton of seasons for you guys, which I'm really excited to do. Kind of go through Mikhail Voynov and Bubalev's kind of careers, and same with Gunnarsson as well. But we're going to have one big last year. This is a big year for us. As before we kind of get right into everything, the awards and playoff stats, I'd like just to say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That'll be very much appreciated. So let's jump into this puppy. As you guys all know, the Stanley Cup champions are, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I do have to simulate a little bit to kick in that Tampa Bay Lightning beat us in the Stanley Cup final, which is a bummer. The last year we didn't make it in, and then this year we did. And of course, Tampa Bay going back to back. It's been two dominant years by the two of the same teams in Seattle and Tampa. Seattle almost had a great chance of bringing home their third Stanley Cup, and almost Colton Parayko having a full fistful of rings, which is just absolutely nuts. So of course, the two times Tampa Bay make it, they win the cup, and Washington, I mean, I just feel bad for them. They lost both of the times to us, and they never faced anybody else but us. Nate McKinnon is your All Ross winner this year and the Hart Memorial. Noah Hanifin wins the James Norris there in New Jersey. Lady Bing goes to Nate McKinnon. Dylan Guenther gets the Calder there for Philly. Kucherov wins the Colin Smythe. Hart gets the Vezina. And then William M. Jennings, whatever the hell that name is, Mason Nuva gets the Bill Masterton. Plot gets the Jack Adams. Deneau gets the Frank J. Selke. Ted Lindsay goes to McKinnon, and he wins the Maurice Richard as well. So a list full of awards for Nathan McKinnon, but no cups to his name yet. As we'll take a look at the stats, and I gotta say, someone was pointing out how elite Victor Arvidsson was in the chat when we did the little premiere for the Stanley Cup, and legit he was. Honestly, you want to talk about a guy that was so good for our depth that I was kind of talking about maybe trading away after this year. I'm definitely not going to be trading away to Victor Arvidsson. He was just too nuts, honestly. The way he played better than Andrei Burakovsky, who is a guy that I loved on the team. I thought he did very good. Of course, we're going to be making up some moves to move people around. And even Gronovich, I mean, yeah, minus, but he still did very good first time. And Jake Kajula as well, 2 game-winning goals. I mean, Jake Kajula was absolutely huge for our playoff run. And I mean, I give it a Ryan O'Reilly. Once again, another great playoffs for the guy. 2 great years with the Seattle Kraken. Now, he did do a little bit worse this regular season. He was a beast in this playoffs for us, but we just couldn't pull it together and bring in that cup. And our big performers, they just weren't there. They went quiet. Ryan O'Reilly felt like he went quiet. Johnny Gaudreau felt like he just was never there throughout the entire round. Bubalev, Strome, I mean, we had so many guys that just did not play very well. Klingberg was fantastic. And Thatcher Demko, who's going to be a big name in today's video because he's a free agent this year. A guy who is on his last year of his deal. And I think, honestly, we're going to move away from Thatcher Demko. We've had him for a long time now, since the original year here with Seattle. We've had him, and he consistently grew with us, but I think this year is just time to go. We had a bad start to the start of the season. He's just not putting up good numbers, and not just that, he struggled in the playoffs the past 2 years. He hasn't been that guy to rely on once again into the playoffs. So I think we're going to move on for Thatcher Demko. I'm pretty sure he leads the league or leads the team in points total, which we will go and take a quick look at the record book before moving forward as well for you guys. So we kind of go over everything. But the awards, not the whole franchise, because that board will be broken. Yeah, still is broken because this was the original kind of update. So Brock Bubalev leading the team all time in points with 338. Of course, Cirelli up there in seasons played with 5. He's been here since the beginning. Strome up there with assists, of course. Bublev leading games played. Parayko with penalty minutes. Demko with wins and shutouts. And Mikhail Voynov just tied up Denis Gurianov. So I would be imagining that Mikhail Voynov will be passing Gurianov here very, very soon for that leading goal scorer of the Seattle Kraken. And then, of course, you're going to have all the big heads in Voynov and Parayko, and not just that, Bublev leading the team and all the departments of this team, which is what we want. Those are the big guys that we're looking to build around for the future. So I do have a plan for this season, and that name is Austin Matthews. I'm going to straight up tell you guys right now, my main target with this year's offseason is Austin Matthews. I think Austin Matthews would be huge for the Seattle Kraken. If you really look at our depth charts coming into this upcoming offseason, I think the one big thing that we were missing is, of course, Ryan O'Reilly just wasn't the guy that didn't mesh in well. He had a great first year with us, and I'll give him that. He had a great year, and in the second year, he just didn't really fit in the lineup, and we got to make him fit in the lineup. So the biggest thing that we got to do, of course, is the guy that we got to trade away is Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome is a guy that his no trade clause will be kicking in on July 1st, so we'll be able to get rid of him and dump off that salary cap. Of course, we did guarantee Cirelli will be playing on the second line no matter what, so that will be something that we continue. But I feel like a Brock Bublev, Austin Matthews, Mikhail Voynov top line would be absolutely crazy good, and in a Gaudreau, Strome, Burakovsky, or something like that, maybe Arvidsson. I mean, you definitely have to pick up a new third-line centerman, but I think this team could work. We have a lot of developing pieces right now with this team. With Jorgen Johansson, he should be ready to go next year. And not just that, we got so many other guys, from Sakaris to Virtanen. I mean, we got a lot of guys that are developing on this team right now and are looking very good. But I do want to quickly check out our prospects right now and just kind of see what we're going to be kind of aiming for. I think a defenseman is going to be a big thing with us this year, because, I mean, we got Friesen here and a Forster, but I think that's our only defenseman that we got for the future. So I think looking forward for a future defenseman wouldn't be too bad. We got Mathias Reinberg and Tanev to look towards the future here for the Seattle Kraken, but we got to bring in a future defenseman to help us out, because we only got Gunnarsson and Ragnarsson right now in that back end. So let's take a look at what's available around the league. I do want to see if Austin Matthews is available from the Toronto. I think he's in the Toronto Maple Leafs, yeah. So I do not know if they're going to be signing him or not. They did. Okay, yeah, 6 years. Okay, maybe I'm thinking about a different franchise mode, but they definitely did lock up everybody on the team, from Robertson to Tavares to Mitch Marner. They did sign, maybe it was Matthews last year that was in free agency. Okay, maybe I'm just hallucinating. Probably. I was like, oh yeah, well, we'll pick up Matthews this offseason, but no, it looked like he had a contract extension going into the season. So that would have been good to know. Goddamn. So now we might have to change our plans a little bit here. Ryan O'Reilly not being available, and really not a lot of people being available right now. I mean, there might be some available free agents. We'll have to see. I think we're just going to go through the draft. I don't think we're going to be traded anyone right now. I think the best bet is just to start the simulation. Get through the draft, see what we can get. Wow, Boucher, low elite. I mean, oh man, there's no defenseman. What the fuck, man? There is absolutely no defenseman. Let's see what happened up on the top. Yeah, this is a really bad draft class. My lord. This is a rough draft class here for I think this is like the 2026 draft or something like that. But this is one rough draft, as Tampa Bay does want to trade away their pick. But we do not want that pick. We want to make our selection with our pick here. So I think we might just go with the power forward, honestly. 2 years away, Olin Nolan. You look at it, you really don't see anyone that's like a defenseman that would be readily available, or somebody that would be good. So we're just going to pick up the Swedish guy. Medium top 6, 68 overall. I'll take that. That helps us out with the future. But I think the biggest thing right now is that what we got to focus on is defense. Defense. We don't got a lot of defense right now for this team. And we really got to start drafting on it. We can pick up the goalie, but I want to see if there's any defenseman that's available. There we go. But 300, okay, we could wait. Let's pick up the goalie first. Gary Boyce, the boys, get him picked up. I think that would be a guy that would help us out a lot moving forward. Let's get this Punavol's guy. because this is another guy that I was seeing there. I wouldn't mind a Russian on the team, medium top 6. I mean, we're throwing out the sky right now. We don't got really deep picks. Oh, if it's a gem, then I'm picking the gem, Alan Jones. This might be a little bit of a quick draft, but we already, to kind of recap, we got Shortjin, Boys, Punanevs from the Russian, and then we just picked up Jones, a low top 4 defenseman. So that should be a very nice pick for the Seattle Kraken. So low top 4, medium top 6. We still want to carry in a lot of defensemen in this team, and that is the biggest goal with this team is, of course, to bring in more defensemen, build up that depth. Daniel Chevalier, low top 4. Man, we are really... I mean, we got lucky with Boys and Shurginin. I would not mind 2 picks for next year. I would not mind 2 picks for next year because this draft is really not looking that deep. It is really just looking like a bunch of players that don't look too good. Justice Martinuk, 169th overall. We got the Valerie guy there. 2 goalies. Do we got any like medium top 4 guys? Oh yeah, we do. Peter Bezanon. Yeah, we'll pick him up. Yeah, there we go. Medium top 4. Okay, so we finally got a defenseman that we can kind of look forward to now. I mean, that's the thing with us too. We're a playoff contending team, so I don't imagine us drafting a lot of elite players right now, especially with our team. We're not going to be a very big drafting team, especially since we're finishing up so high and we're trying to, of course, win cups right now, right? We just won. We won back-to-back 2 years ago. Now we're looking to make ourselves a dynasty. Of course, we weren't able to because of, Tampa Bay. I just want to pick up as many defensemen, Martinuk, as we can. As many, man, we actually have a lot of draft picks in this draft. I should have looked at the draft board to see how many we had, just to kind of pre-scout. I do want to pick up this Valerie guy, but I think I like the Swedish guy in Jesper Hollonen. 5 years away. So he might be a low elite, is what I'm guessing. But this guy could be too. Yeah, let's pick up the Swedish guy. I like that Swedish guy. Jesper Jalonen. Yeah, okay. I don't think we're going to get any luck during these late picks here. The 7th overall pick. Maybe we can get somebody lucky with this pick. I mean, Gudas, Radik Kudas, 6'5", grinder. Might as well. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it for the draft. Not very much. I think the highlights of the draft was definitely our first pick in the first round. Of course, getting that big 68 overall power forward really will help us out moving forward for the future. Boys wasn't too bad. Punanevs wasn't too bad. Bezanon wasn't too bad as a nice deep pick there for the Seattle Kraken. Now the big stuff is about to happen, the draft. Or the free agency. But before we get into free agency and kind of start re-signing people, this was a big question with myself kind of coming into the videos, should we continue with Eddie Reeves or not? Because that was my biggest question heading into this year, was do we keep going with Eddie Reeves? And I think so. I think we continue with this guy. I mean, this guy's had a written record of 205 wins. I mean, every year has been a winning year, and it's only gotten better since the beginning. So I think we continue with Eddie Reeves. It's been a tough 2 years. We're going to be giving him some more offensive tools. I think Desmond Evans, we have to bring him back as an associate coach. I will sign him millions and millions of dollars to come back to be an associate coach for the Kraken. But we might have to switch up the associate coach there for Eddie Reeves. So hopefully that doesn't change too much. And hopefully we could just keep the coaching staff the way that it is. So offensively, wow, Burakovsky jumped up to an 87, but that might be the morale drop. We know that, especially with Voynov right now. He will probably jump back up because he's probably really pissed off that we lost the Stanley Cup and he put so much hard work into it. I mean, the man absolutely ripped it up, 15 goals during that playoff run, which we really didn't highlight over too much, but I mean, he's been a big difference maker. So Ryan O'Reilly right off the get-go, we're just going to dump him off to free agency. I mean, I love the guy. I loved him when he was here, but I think we got to move on from Ryan O'Reilly, and we got to move towards a kind of a new future of the team. I think we bring back Jake Kajula. I absolutely loved him when he was on the team, and having him on the team for another couple of years or whatever, I think will be useful. Koronovich, we got to get him back on the team, 2 years. Same with him. Sign him to a nice cheap deal for the team. I don't think that would be a bad idea, getting those guys back on the team. They're young guys. I mean, Jake Kajula was huge for the playoffs for the Seattle Kraken, so I want to continue having him on the team, and Sakaris is almost ready as well. Also, just to let you guys know, we are going to be getting throughout the entire free agency, and practically throughout the entire offseason, all the way up until the beginning of the season is what I'm planning on getting up to. So Maximov, Kufner will resign, get some of the depth players, of course, back on the team. Where was this guy from? Marcus Volochenkov. He is really came out of nowhere this year, having an explosive year down there in Russia with 33 points and 54 games, being a massive guy on the power play. So maybe a nice future depth guy for the Seattle Kraken. We don't have to sign him now. I think another good year down there in Russia wouldn't do him too bad. We'll get these low top 6 guys. Could be potentially maybe something that could jump into the roster, or just some future trade value that we can use later on. I do not think we're going to have to sign any of these guys. These guys really not looking too good anyways. Tristan Tanev and, of course, Renberg are big future guys over there in the offensive core. Defensively, Hampus Lindholm is going to be a big question on whether we bring him back or not, which he had an absolute fantastic season, I would have to say. But I think with that, we got to move on from him. Ragnarsson's going to be jumping up this next season, and we're going to be wanting to utilize our youth. So I think using Gunnarsson and Ragnarsson and not getting ourselves stuck up in Hampus Lindholm or whatever and getting stuck in a contract wouldn't be a bad idea. Like I said, I want to change this team up a bit and go after a new look with this team. So that's what I'm aiming for, is aiming for a brand new look here with the Seattle Kraken. And that's the biggest goal with this team this year, is coming into this offseason, coming in with a new goal and looking to come out with some positive workings with this team. Ranta, being top 4. I think that's what we really got to sign. I mean, these guys don't. I mean, we'll sign one of them. Actually, who's fuck? I hate EA, man. Come on, fix that glitch, man. I cannot believe you have not fixed that glitch. My lord. Kovalev will sign. And we'll get to the goaltending. The goaltending will be the biggest question. Thatcher Demko, 85 overall. How much money do you want? 5.5. I kind of want to see what's out on the goalie market. I really do want to see. He's been a long time Seattle Kraken since the beginning, but I feel like maybe looking at somebody that we could sign for, like a Thatcher Demko for 3 years, wait until Nikolainen or Henrique or Sappinen are ready to go. Nedeljkovic we got for another year. I don't know if we maybe will replace him, because he definitely was not the guy that we were expecting him to be in 896 at 288. Definitely was not the backup that we were looking for. And we have a plethora of medium elite goalies, my lord. A lot of them. And I don't like to trade very many of them, because I think it's just cheap to do that anyways. So yeah, get most of the players back on the team. We don't have to sign too many players back anyways, because of the fact that... I mean, we got rid of the couple players that we did have to re-sign, and Ryan O'Reilly and Thatcher Demko and Hampus Lindholm, of course. All big losses that we are going to be looking at here for the Seattle Kraken. But I feel like we could just improve from there and get better from here. I do want to get Gaudreau back on the team. So 1.7 for you, buddy. 1.7 for 3 years will get you back on the team, and that should be good. I'm hoping that's good for Gaudreau. Don't feel... Okay, so Desmond Evans is pissing off, and Kajula also wants to leave the team as well. So we're missing out on the associate coach, and not just that, also Drake Kajula will be leaving the team as well. So a lot of players leaving the team, and I just want to jump right into free agency. Please be somebody that we could pick up to play on that top line. Ooh, okay. So we got Pierre-Luc Dubois. Another power forward, which is something I'm not necessarily looking at to add to the team, with Mikhail Voynov, of course, being on the team already. Nikolai Ehlers wouldn't be too bad, but then you don't have a centerman, and that's the biggest thing with this team right now, is that we need a centerman to moving forward for the future of this squad. Is a first-line centerman for this team. We've just been kind of finding replacements over time. And, I mean, we could do Brock Bublev as a centerman, but he wants to play winger. He doesn't want to play centerman, and that's just the thing. That's just the matter of the subject. So maybe someone around the league will be looking to make a big deal. I mean, probably very, very rare that we're going to be looking at that some team will want to give away a big-time centerman at Spinajad, but... No, thank you. I mean, he is a sniper, isn't he? Spinajad, that might not be a bad idea. But $10 million? Oh, yeah, for a two-way. Nah, I'm good. I'm good. That's going to be like the same player as Ryan O'Reilly, but we're playing him like 10 times more. And that would just be dumb for us. I mean, Pierre-Luc Dubois would just be out of the fact that he's a playoff, or not a playoff guy, that he's just a big free agency name. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to go after someone that's going to just be a big free agent name. I want someone that's going to be having a huge impact here in Seattle. So we are going to be looking at the player search, see what we can look at for a potential player to bring into Seattle, a centerman, first liner for sure. Could be anything, could really care less, just has to be centerman. Can we change that to a centerman? Player role first. Can we change that to a centerman? Where's the centerman thing at? Can you not, like, change what type of... Okay, well, I guess we'll just search up first line everything, for fuck's sakes. Jeez, or unless it's in this menu. No, it's not, of course. So, yeah, right off the get-go, I could already list off a couple players that we're probably not going to be able to get. McDavid, McKinnon, Kucherov, all these guys, we're never going to be able to get. I mean, you're going to get at the cusp of these guys. I mean, Clayton Keller wouldn't be a bad idea to bring in. He fits the lines, not a bad contract, could really make a big deal there with Arizona. Say again, Dylan Larkin's available, maybe they're in Detroit. Could possibly look at that, but they probably just locked him up on a deal from what it looks like. You got John Tavares, but he's old. 3 years left on his deal. Nico Hischier, he's still there with New Jersey, so maybe bring him in, but he is a two-way forward. That will be kind of the one thing. Yeah, you got Brock Bublev, and then you're getting down there to kind of our numbers that we don't want to get down too low too. So I think the guy that we can maybe aim for is Clayton Keller. Let's talk with Arizona a bit here, because what are they looking like? Conservative seller, so they are definitely a seller team. Let's take a look at the record. Oh, I don't think we're going to be able to look at the record. Can we? No, I don't think any of these goalies have ever played any games. Let's take a look at their record right quick. Let's take a look at how bad they did, and maybe we'll think about Clayton Keller, because I think Clayton Keller wouldn't be a bad fit for that top line here in Seattle alongside of maybe a Bublev, maybe a Johnny Gaudreau. A Johnny Gaudreau would make more sense. Johnny Gaudreau, Keller, and Mr. Now, we would be training with a division rival. That would be the biggest thing that we would be. Oh, no. They're in the Central. Yeah, Arizona's all the way at the bottom. So maybe we do them a blessing here, all right? Now, this is going to be a big deal that will really change the fortune of this team, right? This is going to be kind of the biggest move that we ever make. So, Clayton Keller, we would like you on the team. So, what I am thinking of trading back, of course, is Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome is the first guy. Now, I'm not going to just do Ryan Strome straight up for Clayton Keller, because honestly, I don't see that as realism. And of course, my camera dies, so we'll be right back to make this deal. All right, everyone, I'm back. So I actually just figured out we cannot actually add Ryan Strome to this deal because of the fact he has a no trade clause. We would have to trade him to a team that is a playoff contender, not a team that's not going to be a playoff contender. So Ryan Strome comes off that list. Of course, Cirelli, we could possibly trade him. Maybe keep Ryan Strome and trade Cirelli, but once again, he's stuck on a no trade clause. Burakovsky could be a guy, but I mean, I wouldn't mind keeping him. Patrick Sakaris, I think, would be a guy that we trade. Shorjanen, we just picked up as well, but I wouldn't mind trading him. They do not want a goalie, but we're going to do 2 years of first round picks. I think we have to do that. 2 years of first round picks, and then we could bolster ourselves up on picks, because it looks like we're winning in this deal a little bit by a ton. Jesus. We might actually just have to trade away, take that off, second. Because this team is not going to be a future playoff team. And that's without a doubt. They're taking two big future players and a first. I don't think it'll go through. That's what I kind of thought. Just that. Will that go through? Just sweeten it by a touch. So I feel like I'm ripping them off. That's my biggest concern here, is I feel like I'm going to rip off this team here in Arizona. Because a Sakaris, Jorgen, and a first. And our first is not going to be very good. Like, at all. So I think just to be nice, we're going to give him our best goalie prospect. And we're going to give him a roster player as well, I feel. I think we're going to be nice, give him a nice... Sekeres will be a roster player. Patrick Sekeres will be a roster player for that team. So, will that go through? Yes, it does. Clayton Keller, welcome to the Seattle Kraken, my boy. Wow, we have just made ourselves a hell of a contender. We just added Clayton Keller to the Seattle Kraken. And we still have $15 million. I mean, we just got this guy to an absolute steal of a deal. We help out Seattle Kraken with a little bit of the rebuild, giving them some nice future players to build around there, which I think will be an absolute joy for them right now. So with that, the lineups will be now Keller, Gaudreau, Voynov, and then Bubalev, Cirelli, Burakovsky. Now, the biggest question, do we keep Strome and just continue to have Strome on the team? Maybe do Strome, Arvidsson, Bellows. That would not be bad. I mean, Strome has been a big player here since day one, and his defensive numbers are great. He could be a perfect PK guy, and he's only making 5.9. We could just make him a deal like, yo, just stay on the team for a little bit longer. You could win another Stanley Cup with us, right? That's the biggest goal. I mean, he's old. He's been putting up great numbers ever since he's got here to Seattle. He's been getting paid. He's won the cup. He's gotten some hardware. Did he win the Conn Smythe that one year? I think he did. But he's been a great player for the team, and I think that mainly builds up the depth by itself. I mean, we'll definitely pick up a right winger depth guy, and in defense, I think we can pick up some more defense to add to the team. We have $15 million, and we need a goalie. We cannot forget about a goalie. So let's go out there and get a goalie to the team. Let's add that. What a big offseason. So Clayton Keller being added to the Seattle Kraken. McPherson, but we would have to give him a qualifying offer. I mean, Ivan Provorov would not be that bad at all. You think we gotta focus on goalie first. I was just like, oh yeah, we could bring in Provorov, but we gotta get a goalie first. I think that's the biggest target with us right now is a goalie. So we traded away our biggest goalie prospect in Nukkalainen, of course. So we're gonna be missing him. Samsonov, how well have you done over your career? Not too bad, a 902 last year, but definitely not the greatest. But he looks like he kind of goes back and forth. Playoff time, yeah, he lost to us a couple times there. So maybe Samsonov comes to the enemy. I mean, it looks like he hasn't done too bad, especially when he has got his ass kicked. He hasn't looked like he's been too bad. Robin Lehner, and no, nope. I think Samsonov might be your best bet for going after a good goalie to bring into the team. So it's either Thatcher Demko or Samsonov, I feel. Samsonov for 5 years. Samsonov wants a no-trade clause. Also, what does Thatcher Demko want? Like, we'll spin the wheel for Thatcher Demko. We'll see what he wants. He wants a no-trade clause as well. I think Samsonov... I mean, I think there might be identical players, though. Thatcher Demko, 909, 2.57, a 909. I think we might just go back with Thatcher Demko. But Thatcher Demko really screwed us. He really did. He just couldn't shut the door. We need somebody new in that back end. $7.2 million. Ilya Samsonov, welcome to the Seattle Kraken, my man. And also, defensively, we don't actually have an offensive defenseman, funny enough. Over our time being in Seattle, we have not ever picked up an offensive defenseman. And so what do we got? We got Randerson, we got Gunnarsson, we got Parayko, we got a lot of right-handed guys. We could use like a left-handed offensive defenseman, Adam Fox. Oh my god. All these guys are, you got Ethan Bear, right-handed. My lord, left-handed offensive defenseman and Dehan, but yeah, there's a lot of two-way defenders. I mean, if you want a guy to pick up for the team that could be an offensive defenseman, would be Neil Pionk. He would be kind of that guy. But you're paying him $5.7 million, which is a decent amount of money, especially now, since we got to sign $7.1 million of, how much would that be? 7 minus 5, that would be $8 million left, most likely. So either it's Fox or you go after maybe Fox, because Fox is a bit cheaper. You could get him for 2 years, which would be lesser than what Pionk would be. You could also pick up Ethan Bear as well, 82 overall, but that's 5.975. So I think, yeah, no trade clause for Adam Fox. I'll take that. But do we hang on? We might have to That's the big thing, because we might have to, yeah, we got to get Klingberg back on the team next year, maybe. I know we got to sign Gunnarsson, which let's do that now. 4 years, we'll spin the wheel on him. Actually, no, we'll do it for 3, because we could get it for cheaper for 3. And then we would have to sign him to a no-movement clause. Ragnarsson, I think we could get, oh, we might wait on Ragnarsson. But I think bringing in somebody else wouldn't be a bad idea. Because, I mean, I do not know if we're going to have Colton Parayko pass this season. Maybe. But if we have him on a no-trade clause, then we could just easily trade him away. So we're going to bring in Adam Fox to the Seattle Kraken. We actually bring in an actual... Well, we already have John Klingberg as an actual offensive defenseman, because there's another offensive defenseman option here with Seattle. And I think Fox will be a perfect guy for the team. We'll build our defense a lot deeper. We're going to be absolute stacked. And, yeah, Adam Fox, welcome to the Seattle Kraken, lad. And then we'll pick up a defensive defenseman for that. We'll pick it back up Alexiak. Why not? Why not? Why the hell not? We'll bring back in Alexiak to the Seattle Kraken. So Alexiak, Samsonov, and Fox. Hopefully they all sign with the Seattle Kraken. We got Clayton Keller. The team is looking pretty damn good, man. I am actually really excited about this next year. So actually, what do we need with our two guys that we have on the team right now? So he's basically good, but he got the PK cover. So we need someone to cover that PK. The PK needs to be covered. So Fukali, A-. Can we find someone that has an A+? We might sign the McCullough guy, because that's my last name, McCullough. We're bringing you in as the associate coach, buddy. Sign with the team. And then scouts, we need to sign a couple more scouts, because we do need a couple more scouts to fill in some spots, I think, with the team. So we need 5 more scouts, couple in the OHL. Sign one there. One in the QMJHL, which is nothing good there anyways, but we'll sign one anyways. And then we need 2 in the NHL, so that'll mostly cover everything up. But I'm really excited about this team, especially with Clayton Keller on this team now. It makes it a kind of a different dimension of a team. I'm pretty excited about this team now. Adding Clayton Keller added more of an offensive tool to the team. Kind of a better guy than Ryan Strome, I think, would ever be. So let's see if we can get the guys. Of course, McCullough signs. I think we should be able to get all our scouts. And this and that. That shouldn't be too hard to get for the Seattle Kraken. Shillington, no. We don't want to trade Shillington away. We're not trading away anyone. I think that's going to be the biggest thing. We don't want to trade away anyone. Gillies, all right. You sign. Alexiak signs with the team. Adam Fox signs with the team. And please say Samsonov. And Ilya Samsonov signs with the Seattle Kraken. And Gunnarsson signs his contract extension. So we built a powerhouse here, boys. We've used up most of our salary cap. And looking into the season, we got a bolstered team, man. I mean, you want to talk about a real powerhouse this year. I think it's the Seattle Kraken. And this year, I don't want to mess around. This is the year that I want to win a cup. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to sign one more depth player, and then I'll simulate to the start of the season, which I'll cut that out. We'll do the little bit of power of video editing, and we'll jump to the start of the season. But I do want to sign a gritty power forward to play in the depth for us. Someone that we could sign for dirt cheap. Mike Hoffman, wow. Jeez, Mike Hoffman. What do we got? I mean, we don't have a futures. No, what? Might as well bring in that. We'll bring him in. We'll see what he does. If he does great, oh, we got to bring in Zach Kassian. I cannot deny when Zach Kassian's there. I just cannot deny. So, and plus Mike Hoffman being that cheap of a deal, I might as well take it. Because if he could be a lethal goal scorer, kind of be like that Victor Arvidsson that he was last year for the playoffs, I think that would be huge. So, guys, I'm going to simulate off to, actually, one more thing. I do want to check that if Ryan Strome did win the Conn Smythe, because I was talking about it. I want to actually see if he actually did win the Conn Smythe. I passed by it. Yeah, he did. Ryan Strome, and then Ryan Hartman. Yeah, we've had some weird Conn Smythe winners over the times here in Seattle. We've had a lot of guys that have just been underdogs on the team win that award, which is just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to clear this block, but I will be right back, guys. I will be at the start of the season. We'll do the lineups, and then you guys can kind of chime in on what the lineup should be and if we should make any more changes. So I'll be right back once we get to the start of the season. So here we are at the start of the season and coming into the 2025-26 season here with the Seattle Kraken. Clayton Keller, of course, our best overall rated player, which is reason why we picked him up to be that all-star for this team. And hopefully he'll be able to take charge. I mean, 62 points with a pretty bad Arizona Coyotes team. Just think of the possibilities of what he can do when he's stepping right into his prime right now as a person. So I think Clayton Keller will be lethal for the Seattle Kraken, but just everyone on this team. We have a really, really deep team. Mike Hoffman's an 80 overall. We do got to call up Jorgen Johansson. I think he might be a guy that we play. John Klingberg, Lars Gunnarsson, Parayko, Fox, Ragnarsson, Alexiak. Nasson is the depth. We do got to send down someone for the offensive core, but I think that might be Hoffman, honestly, because, I mean, you look at Hoffman, he's not very good defensively compared to, like, a Michael McLeod. I mean, Michael McLeod's not that great either, but we'll send down Michael McLeod. We'll keep a winger because we got a lot of centermans anyways, so, and then the goaltending, of course, same usual, Samsonov, the new goalie, coming in for the team, and then, of course, Nedeljkovic being the starting goalie for the team as well. So let's take a look at the lineups. Where's my boy Voynov? Of course, we want the powerhouse of a first line of that, and then Cirelli up there with Burakovsky, Bellows with Strome, and then Arvidsson there as well, and then Cassian Johansson. I think we want a Kronovich, but yeah, Kronovich fits. Jorgen Johansson, Zach Cassian. Now I like that. Zach Cassian, Johansson, Kronovich, Bellows, Strome, Arvidsson, Burakovsky, Cirelli, Bublev in the top line of Gaudreau, Keller, and Mikhail Voynov. Wow, what a tank. And then I think what worked best last year, I think, yeah, going with this, Gunnarsson with Klingberg, Parayko with Fox, and Alexiak with Ragnarsson. And you guys can help me out with the power play lines and the PK lines. Help me out with all these lines. We'll edit that in the next episode. And same with the lineups. If you guys want to maybe see Burakovsky up on the top line, maybe, or try maybe a Brock Bublev as a centerman, right? Or just something. Everything and anything you guys want to suggest, comment that down below. I'll listen to just about anything as the Seattle Kraken. We're looking for that cup, baby. We are. Thank you guys very much for watching this very, very long episode. If you sat all the way through it, thank you very much. I appreciate you if you watch all the way throughout this video. That's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigos.